The Buffalo Sabres playoff drought continues. That and more coming up. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sabres Edge podcast presented by Nickel City Mafia. I'm your host, Sammy Saucy Mitts. I am here with my co-host, Top Shelf Timmy Corks, and it is currently Wednesday, April 10th. Timmy, how are you doing?
Personally, myself, I'm not doing too bad. Like we were saying before the show, still alive, still fighting the good fight. But when it comes to Sabres hockey, we finally have some finality to the season. We got an answer. So, it's a hard pill to swallow, but that's it. How you doing?
Mostly the same, Got to see my family a little bit this week. Got to see the eclipse, which was lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't stare at the sun and lose my eyesight, which is, for me, honestly, personally, probably a possibility. Remember to stay safe, guys. Use your glasses anytime you're looking at the.
Did you have glasses?
I do. They're in the back right there, actually.
Okay.
You might be able to see them next to the little Pikachu.
You didn't you didn't put them on the bag. The bag's not wearing the glasses.
You know what? That would have been a great idea. I regret that. We can retcon that at some point when you're doing a monologue. I'll like sneak back there.
All right, I'll go on a long rant if you want me to. I can muster something up maybe to make this work out.
Yeah, but that was fun. Again, for the Sabres though, we get our finality. It's over. Like the push, it's done. We don't have to pretend like there's hope. It's over.
Pretend.
Yeah. I mean,
good choice of words, Sam.
That's kind of been the operative word for most of this season. We were a pretender this whole time. It was not a team that was good even.
Yeah.
So whatever. It's done.
R.I.P.
Yep. We may as well just hop into the games because you know the drill. We had games this week. Starting on Wednesday, we had a game in Cleveland that we won 6-1. Then on Saturday, we move into Providence. We win in overtime 3-2. And then on Sunday against the Bridgeport Islanders, we win 5-4 in a shootout. So pretty good week for the Amerks. No complaints.
I was about to say, this is sounding like the Amerks schedule right now. We're an Amerks show now. Mike, turn this into red, white, and blue. You can basically just take the Bills background that you have, and we'll put Amerks logo at the bottom.
Yeah, you're right. I forget. We've got a Bills show. You can just take their colors. It's so.
What can we call it then if we're the Amerks? Because it can't be Sabres Edge. What's a good rocking in the Amerks land or something like that?
I thought you were going to go with rocking in Rochester.
Oh, rocking in Rochester. I do like that.
And you did rocking in Amerks land. I was like, I feel like the landing wasn't exactly stuck.
Oh, yeah. No, I was trying to think of something. But I like rocking and Roch. Rocking and Roch. Let's go.
Yeah, but I thought since we know the result of the Sabres season, that maybe some of you will start turning your attention to what's happening in the Amerks, and they're on a pretty good streak right now. So I just figured I'd mention that. In their last 10 games, the Amerks are 8-1-0-1, which I don't know how they. I think that's the shootout win. Is the 0-1? Yeah. And they are playing into potentially a divisional to winning the division, whereas last week when we were talking about them, they were playing for a playoff spot and now they've propelled themselves into maybe winning their division.
Yeah.
So some encouraging stuff down there. Devin Levi continues to play very well for that team, and they're maybe getting a little more offense than they were at points in the year. So guys are starting to pick it back up.
Yeah, Yuri Kulich is picking it up right now, and they're getting help from, oh man, the name is just fell out of my head. Wahlberg. He's tearing it up down there. I mean, the big guy coming over from Sweden is already playing well for the Amerks right now. So it's kind of amazing that they've went the opposite. They actually almost didn't have playoff hopes, and then they came out and made the playoffs. They did what the Sabres couldn't do. So that's exciting. And what came out today was ESPN ranked the Sabres once again, just like the Athletic, having the best prospect pool in all of the NHL. So if you had to need another sign for the future of the team and what they have in trade value as well, we'll take a look at that.
Yeah. I mean, we can the Rochester Americans have clinched their spot into the playoffs. Actually, I think they are like 1 point going either way from getting their spot in the playoffs. So they're not there yet, but they've basically, unless things go terribly wrong, unless every out of town game goes against them and they can't pick up one more point in the last 6 games, they've clinched their spot in the playoffs. So I am sure we'll have more time to talk about them, their roster, how they're composed, kind of going down the line. And since the Sabres won't have much to talk about, but
they got Devin Levi. They're taking it all the way.
Currently, they got Devin Levi, and that is more than enough for them to take it all the way.
Yeah, makes up for their defensive woes that they had. Actually, now that we think about it, they got 3 strong defensemen down there now. Well, is it 3? Well, no, 2. And Ryan Johnson and Nikita Novikov.
So you got Ryan Johnson, Nikita Novikov. Riley Stillman is still down there. You have Cale Clegg, who's still down there. Zach Metza has played well for them. He's on defense. Jeremy Davies. You got a lot of kind of fringe, like kind of the tweeners on this roster. Our defense should be better than it is, but apparently it takes a star young goalie to actually shore it up.
That's fine. We got plenty of those right now, so
right.
So that's exciting. But we'll talk about the Amerks. If they make the playoffs, we'll keep the show actually pushing with the Amerks then.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to watch the games live because I don't know if they do a discounted price for the AHL network, but I heard that's just
it's kind of an expensive buy.
Yeah.
They do not make it too easy to watch the team, but it is what it is. We can I'll do my best to keep you posted with what I see. I also do not have a subscription at the moment, but that might change.
Yeah. I look at the Reddit boards. They keep it up pretty well for the Sabres. So
shout out to, I think it's Bailey Orzel, who does highlight posting on the Buffalo Sabres Reddit. Really very much appreciate you keeping me up to date with Amerks goals.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, during the regular season, I would have no way of seeing those. So shout out to you if you're out there. Thank you for that.
Hop on the show sometime. We'll have you on.
Yeah. That's a person where if they ever are looking to be a guest host on a podcast, we would gladly take you because we know that you're very ingrained in the Sabres community, and we appreciate your posts.
Always nice to hear outside thoughts too, especially from people who are dedicated to the Sabres still at this point. So
exactly. But that's setting the Amerks aside. We actually did play 3 games this week. We had Friday against the Philadelphia Flyers, and that was a 4-2 result in favor of the Sabres. And just full disclosure here, we won the game, but we were not the better team. That was a rookie goaltender in his first start of his career laying an egg against us. There was an early period kind of dump in where he tried to corral it and just missed and it ended up in a turnover. And I'm like, that's kind of the most basic of plays. Doesn't even really require that much effort. And from that point on, I was like, it doesn't matter how poorly we play. We're winning this game. Lo and behold, we won the game. We look like crap. And just, how Sabres is that? The games that you don't look like you're doing too well, you end up winning. Games where you play well, you end up losing. Games where it matters, you lose. Whatever. This is just how it is for us.
Yeah. Wild move to play your rookie goaltender at this point of a playoff push by the Philadelphia Flyers. But
yeah, that's they're grasping at straws at this point because I think they're on a 10, maybe 9-game lose streak. It's 8. Sorry. Yes, they're on an 8-game losing streak. They were grasping at straws by then. They were trying literally anything, throwing it at the wall and seeing if it worked. And it didn't. And they continue to lose.
You bench the captain, trade for Eric Johnson. Maybe Eric Johnson brought that bad Sabres mojo over there. And, I mean, look at the Panthers. I mean, they got a little bad Sabres mojo for a little bit when Okposo came over. They were on a losing streak for a little bit there. And, yeah.
I don't think Okposo plays all the games, though, over there. So,
well,
it can't be
that's
all
only
him.
Right. That's the way he should be utilized, right?
Right. I mean, that would have been ideal for us, although he was our captain. So I don't know how you bench the captain unless you're Philly.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It's not working for them either. So here we are.
No.
They are losing their way out of a playoff spot, just like Detroit did a week ago or whatever, 2 weeks ago.
God,
and that brings us to the Detroit game, where we lost 3-1. Do you know what our record is in games where we're within 4 points of the wild card spot? Not like counting the start of the year because everyone's within 4 points or whatever.
It's 0-5?
No, it's worse.
Double digits were hot or cold? Give me hot or cold on this.
You're very hot, but it is worse.
0-7?
0-6.
Oh, I didn't think. I was like, maybe I'm 2 off. I can't. There's no way I'm 1 off on that.
Games where the Sabres have a chance of really getting in within grasp of the wild card spot, they've gone 0-6. This team just collapses under any amount of pressure. It's embarrassing. They're a -13 in those games, I believe. Like the goal differential is -13 in 6 games that your season is riding on.
What's their goal differential for the first period, too?
It's terrible. I think their goal differential for the first period is -40 right now.
Yeah.
I don't have it pulled up, but
I think it was -37 a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, it's -40, and they've given up 90 goals in the first period throughout the whole entire season. So it's insane. This team just does not come prepared at all for any games. I can't even think of a game where the Sabres have come prepared. Can you, off the top of your head? Maybe that Maple Leafs game where they blew them out after the Columbus Blue Jackets killed them. I mean,
yeah,
this team's never ready. It's just never ready for anything.
Yeah, this team is terrible when it comes to the first period. So it becomes a big problem. We find ourselves in a hole quite quickly, and then you just cannot make it back up. So shout out to the Sabres for that. Losing all your games in the first period is not the way you want to go out. It's more of a whimper than a bang, you know?
It really is. To come back and fight back for those games too and try to win them. And they've done it a couple of times.
Yeah.
But just to think, I mean, yes, they're the team that won the I think they have the most points out of 5-on-5. The fact that they couldn't get points in over. How many times this season? You can probably count on one hand how many times they went into overtime this season, can't you?
No.
2 hands?
I think 2 hands. We have 5 overtime losses. I don't know what our overtime wins are because it doesn't show it on the little I'm
record line.
On the standings chart. It just shows wins, losses, overtime losses. So we only have the losses there, but you already got 5 there, and we definitely have won some. So it's at least 2 hands. But
so you couldn't drag other teams to overtime because you fall so far behind in the first period. So you didn't even have the opportunity for loser points at all. And just imagine if they would have had, I don't know, 10, 11 more loser points.
If we have the Islanders 15, we're actually first in this race right now.
Yeah. And that's just a testament. That's how you should be coming prepared for a game anyways. Anyways, I digress. We'll talk about this at the end of the season show next week. So
yeah, we've only got 3 more games. So, but filling out the games that we played this week, yesterday we had a game against the Stars, which isn't the reason that the show was moved. But that was a Tuesday. So we had a game against the Stars and we lose that 3-2. You know what stood out to me in that game?
What's that?
The way that they play in front of the net. These Stars, they crowd up your net. They make it an absolute living hell for the goalie. He cannot see. There are tips coming in from everywhere. That first goal was an absolute beauty by Jason Robertson. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do if you're Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. That is from kind of outside the cage, and it's a shot tipped in. Then they score again. All of their goals were either on tips or just chaos in front of that. Because then they score again in the first period on a tip. That gets called back on a high stick. And then their second goal that actually counted was thrown in front of the net, got caught in 3 players' skates before it was flung on a backhand top shelf by Wyatt Johnston. And then I believe the third goal was a tip from Joe Pavelski, who, I mean, that's his bread and butter right there. But the way that they make such a commitment to be in front of the net, create that havoc, not let the opposing goaltender see a thing, and be willing to just fight in those dirty areas, fight for those tips. It's effective. You see how effective it can be. Their offense felt like even on maybe low percentage shots, they would still get something because, well, maybe the goalie can't see it. Well, maybe it's going to hit something in front and redirect. And so everything becomes lethal.
Yeah.
That is something that we have not seen a lot of from our group this year. It's a lot of just kind of getting to the side, hoping for a tap and pass, which is harder to execute, or just taking unscreened shots at the goalie. Yeah. So this game has shown me the difference of this is why we are not a real team. This is why we are not actually threatening to anyone. We're not doing offense in a way that really forces you to defend against us. You stand in front of us, wave your stick at us, it'll dislodge, and all of a sudden you're on the breakout. It's pathetic.
Yeah. We've been harping about this all season. How low percentage scoring chances they have from taking shots from the outside all year round is just crazy. Right. And, I applaud the Stars too, because they're taking advantage of a poorly non-physical Sabres defense too, because you can get away with crowding the front of the net too, because they're the only guy that's going to cross-check you in the back or try to get physical with you is the best player on the team, that's Dolly. The rest of the defense, I mean, Owen Power, push over. Bowen Byram, push over. Henry Yokiharu, push over. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have the potential to be good players. But right now, they don't play hard defense. You can get away with crowding the front of the net and hoping that and you can collect those rebounds and get those dirty goals in. And guess what? That's how you score in the playoffs too. And that's what the Stars are preparing for. Stars came to that game. We got a playoff spot. I'm pretty sure they're first or second in the conference. I forgot where they're standing, but they're up there.
They're first in the conference.
And they're like, all right, we got this scrimmage against this B squad team coming in. Let's get ready for the playoffs and just get ready for what's going to be playoff hockey right now. And who who's the leading goal scorer for the Dallas Stars? I can't even recall off the top of my head.
I feel like it's probably got to be Robertson, but Wyatt Johnston has a lot of goals this year. So,
but you don't think you think of the Stars? Do you think of them as like a flashy team at all? Do you think of them like the Toronto Maple Leafs, or maybe I'm trying to think who else, like the New Jersey Devils of last year, or the Tampa Bay Lightning during their dynasty run? Like they had like stars and guys who stood out, and they're kind of a little bit more, finesse type of teams. But here comes the Stars, and the Stars really don't play that way. They play just dirty hockey and score goals and play defensively, and you got a great goalie in Ottinger that's going to help stand up for you.
Yeah.
And that's a veteran team too. That isn't a young team. Maybe the Sabres can take something and learn from, maybe this type of hockey kind of works, but who knows?
I think that you can find a balance of both things where, we have a bunch of skilled players and there is value in that. They need to round out their game so that they can play in any situation.
And I got another hot take too when you're done. Sorry.
Okay, I mean, I'm willing to hear that hot take, but before that, I just want to say Wyatt Johnston is their goal leader with 32 goals. Second-year guy, I think, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So let's hear your hot take. What you got?
Get rid of individual goal songs. I want one goal song for the whole entire team. Let's stop individualizing things. Your team, when you score a goal, the same song should be playing. If there's Sabres fans watching right now, in the chat, what was the goal song they played during the 05-06 runs and the 06-07 runs? Because I know what it is. And I'm sure everyone else knows what it is. And then when that song pops up, I think of that team. And that team played like a team. You go back to the Chicago Blackhawks. I was a Blackhawks fan. Where did they played Chelsea Dagger. That was their goal song. I mean, the team is just too many individuals. I know it's a hot take, Sam. You're making that face because you're like, this is crazy. But it does play something. Because I don't want to listen to Skinner's lame-ass songs anymore. It was cute last year. Not cute this year. I don't want to listen to any high school musical bullshit, kid-girly crap. I want an actual goal song for the whole entire team. Let's stop individualizing each other because you're not good enough to have individual goal songs. This isn't the MLB. You're not individual players. Individually, none of you are really great. You haven't done anything in your careers. I want one goal song next year. That's my hot take for the show today. And I was thinking about this, and I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks, even the beginning of the season too. So that's it. That's my hot take. And Mike agrees right there.
Yeah, I'm going to have to throw the other side of the debate out there because I think this is maybe the hottest take that you've had so far. I hate it.
Why?
I despise this idea.
Why?
At the end of the day,
is hockey a team sport or an individual sport?
It's the entertainment industry is what it is.
But
and as a fan, I love seeing the personalities of my players. I love that so much. Skinner might no longer be good at hockey. It doesn't change the fact that he will forever be one of my favorite players. And the goal songs just add to that. Partying when Skinner scores and you know that you're about to sing Party in the USA in the building, it goes insane. I love it so much.
Where has it gotten the team?
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
They
don't play like a team. They don't fight for each other.
That's not a goal
song. They have their own
thing.
goal
That is
song.
not a goal
yes,
song.
Yes, it's a symbolism of things, Sam.
It's not a goal song thing. It's a Terry Pagula thing.
It's a symbolism of things. Is it what the Terry Pagula thing?
Yeah, no, we haven't. The team under Terry Pagula has had individual and one goal song before, and has not made the playoffs. It's a Terry Pagula thing. It's not. You can't look at the current drought and be like, it's because of the goal songs. That's That's ridiculous.
It's just another market. It's just another marketing technique to get people to come to the games because the team sucks and they can't score many goals. So you get to hear
yeah, because the team sucks, they need to still find a way to entertain you.
So they need to get. They need to get one team song.
It doesn't matter
to make this team an actual team. So when one of their teammates gets cross-checked in the back into the boards, there's someone actually fighting for you. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing with this team. That's the whole thing with this team.
If my teammate gets cross-checked in the back into the boards, the thing that's going to make me fight for my teammate is the fact that we share a goal song. No,
it's
you're
symbolism,
full of crap,
Sam. No, I'm not. Yes, it is, Sam. Sam. You never even seen the playoffs. This is the craziest thing that we're fighting against right now.
I have seen the playoffs.
When you were 6 years old?
Yeah, I mean, no,
when the team was on the end of its precipice of being a playoff team?
Yeah.
You never got to see the 05-06 Sabres. I
watch
Gold on the Ceiling. The Black Keys was their goal song. And that's what you need. You need to have a team goal song to represent as a team. It is a symbol of a team. The whole individual stuff with this team has to end. They're not good enough. They need to be a team. They need to play as a team. Where are people talking about right now? Talking about Dylan Cousins. He can't distribute the puck because he gets tunnel vision when he gets with the puck. Why is that? It's all just because he's thinking as an individual and getting stats. What are people focusing on right now, too, when it comes to the players at this point? What's their points? What's their stats? At the end of the day, when I look at the 05, 06, 06, 07 Sabres, they played as a team. I don't even remember what the points that Jochen Hesch got or Mike Greer got back in those days. It's probably barely anything. But they played as a team, and this team doesn't play as a team. And this is the problem, why they can't get anywhere, why there's no accountability, because this team is not a team. And guess what? You got to lose the privileges of this bullshit. I get my own song when I score a fucking goal just because I'm a freaking loser and I can't even get into the playoffs for the past 4 years. We need one goal song on this team to symbolize we're a team, and every time we score, we play one song. And yes, this is kind of coming out of left field for me saying this, but it's just a symbolization of this organization and of this team. That why do they have individual goal songs? How many other teams do this in the league? Why is the team that's constantly on the bottom of the league in a 13-year playoff drop, every player get individual goal songs? That's nuts. You don't see the Blackhawks doing it.
The Blackhawks suck.
Exactly.
I don't know what you want.
I want the team to get back together as a team. And that's the issue. Because you got a loser-ass coach like Don Granato who doesn't want to answer about questions about there being a 13-year playoff drought after the end of the season. I don't want to hear from Tage Thompson after the game saying, we let outside noise affect the team this year, when that's such a bullshit response. When friggin' Alex Talk goes off about the fans still booing them 3 months after that game, and then you got friggin' Dylan Cousins just saying words to appease the fans. That's the problem with this team.
I don't think it has anything to do with the goal song, though.
But they don't play. They act like they are a team, but they are not a team. They don't play as a team. They really don't play as a team.
I just don't think you're solving the problem with the goal song. Okay, just hear me out. Florida Panthers, 104 points this year, have individual goal songs.
Okay.
Do you think that they'd have more points this year if they had the same goal song? You think that matters?
They're a better team.
Yeah. Okay.
As a team.
You know what like joins a team as a team? Not the fucking goal song. It's a coaching thing. It's a team mentality. Like it's the players have to bunker down and be like,
a team mentality.
The goal song has nothing to do with that. I would much rather you replace the coach and say this has been the problem because it most likely
you need a coach that comes in here and sets that.
And yeah, you need a coach that comes in here and says, let's get rid of goal songs.
Exactly. Lindsey Ruff would come in here and say you're not allowed to have individual goal songs. That was what happened.
That's so dumb. It's not a thing.
It is a thing.
You know who plays like a team better than anyone in this league?
Who?
The Winnipeg Jets. They do not have like bona fide stars on that team other than Connor Hellebuck. That is a win by committee team.
And
individual goal songs.
And
104 points.
And
having individual goal songs doesn't matter.
But they earned that. The Sabres have not earned that. This is 13 years of this drought. And the problem with this team has been, since Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart have been on this team, is that they play as individuals. They don't play as a team. And when you have this going on, and you're having these players play individual goal songs, that's just a symbolization of they don't have this idea of a team mentality. Trust me.
I'm not going to trust you on this. I am going to enjoy the fact that my team has personality, even though you think.
What personality do they have? Who has personality on this team besides Jeff Skinner?
Mostly Jeff Skinner. I would love "Party in the USA" as a goal song.
And Jeff Skinner's been out of the league has been out of the playoffs for how many career games? Over his
whole life, right? Like we have problems on the team.
And he plays as an individual.
I agree, right? Like I agree we have a bunch of problems with the team. There are tons of them. You're digging into like the real depths of it if you think that
you got to start somewhere, Sam, because how much
you start with the coach. You start with the coach.
Yeah. But
why,
you have to.
Why is the team not playing a system? Why are they not playing together? Why are they not sticking up for each other? I don't know. Maybe it's because they're not coached to.
Yeah. And what does the coach have to bring in? A culture of being a team. And I'm going to tell you right now, you bring in any coach, that individual goal song bullshit stops next year. Any coach with credibility will say that's over with.
I think any coach, maybe other than like Tortorella and Babcock, wouldn't care. I think it's an organization's decision to choose that. Like, I don't think that it's the coach who's choosing whether or not they have individual or like a single goal song. I think it's the organization, and I don't think the coaches care. Why would they care? Why does it matter? It doesn't.
It does.
No, it doesn't. It's not bringing. It is not bringing the sense of unity that you think it is or will.
But it's a symbolism thing. It's all about. It's not about unity. It's symbolism. You're playing individual goal songs. You don't have a team goal song, and that's the issue. Is that this team does not play as a team. And if you keep on perpetuating this idea that they are individuals on this team and you get your individual goal songs, they're going to keep playing as individuals. This team needs to become a serious franchise, and it needs to go back. And maybe in the future when they play like a fucking team, they can get their individual goal songs back. But they don't have the right to have individual goal songs. It's an earned right. And they don't have it right now. There's not many things this team can have right now. They don't have guys when it comes into the IIHF World Cup coming up this offseason. If there's any guys that say, I'm not playing in it, they can go fuck right off. Because they should be going out and playing in that and learning how to play as a better individual and preparing for next offseason. Because next offseason it's been 13 years. But next offseason isn't a joke. Next season is the end of my fandom of this team, if I'm going to be serious with you. I'm going to be done with the Sabres if they don't make the playoffs next season. Because it's a joke, and I'm sick of wasting my time with this team. I really am.
That's fair. That is a fair, not the part about the goal songs, but like the frustration that I think that you exhibit is incredibly fair given what the Sabres have provided for us in the past decade and a half now.
Yeah.
It's been terrible. It's not been fun. I feel like maybe the goal song thing needs to be addressed in a context where you're maybe not angry about the result of the most recent season, because I think those two things are bleeding into each other a little bit. If I'm to look at this from the point of your therapist.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying it felt like one thing is the pressing issue here. And then the other was an outlet to take the issue out on, And
I just want little changes. I just want little changes.
I want big ones.
Changes. Well, I agree with that too. But can I ask you a serious question? Sure. And I think I've asked this multiple times. I mean, all right. Out of 10, John Granado getting fired this offseason. 10 being 100% yes, 1 being no.
My opinion, or what do I think happens?
Your what you think is going to happen.
Because my opinion is, at this point, we've talked about it. My opinion is 10. I don't think he's cut out for it anymore.
We're both on 10. But what do you really think is going to happen?
He's been here for long enough. I don't think it's going to. I don't think he's going to take us to the playoffs. And even if he does, I don't think he can take us to a cup. It is what it is. You seem like a good enough guy, Don, but you can't be coaching the team anymore. We need to move on. What I think is going to happen, 30% chance that he gets moved on from. The most likely outcome, in my opinion, is that we hire a backup coach who's maybe a little more experienced, who, has been a head coach before in the league, and if need be, could become an interim coach, shortens up Don's lead a little bit, and allows you to kind of have that thing in place where mid-season you can pull the trigger and be done with him. You're not happy with that idea?
No, because I know that's what's going to happen.
I think that's at least better than keeping everyone, including Matt Ellis, on the team.
I mean,
maybe with some better assistant coaches, Don will actually, stuff will actually happen, or maybe someone to hold Don accountable. Someone who's been in the league.
Did you listen to him this morning at all on WGR?
I heard some sound bites. I didn't listen to the whole thing.
So, I mean, if you're in a Discord, I sent that tweet of the video of Dylan Cousins, how he just has tunnel vision now going into offensive zones. I talked a bit about throughout the season where this guy just ends up getting the puck and ruining any momentum that they have in offensive drives. He was asked about Dylan Cousins specifically about, hey, this guy, what's going on with him? Do you notice him just kind of having tunnel vision? And he then laughs it off and goes, it's not that big of a deal. Everybody does it. And then kind of pushes the question aside. And it just pisses me off because this is the guy. No, as a coach, you don't throw Dylan Cousins under the bus. But as a coach, you got to take responsibility of this somehow. And you have to recognize that.
I think you can say, hey, this is a thing that we recognize and we're working on. You can do it so much better than, everyone does that. No, buddy, your team just missed the playoffs for the 13th time in a row. I
just can't
give us some answers that, matter. Because the fan base needs answers, and they need the ones that matter. Because guess what? Like you said, next year's it for you. You're fucking done. You are a guy or a fan who gets on a podcast every week to talk about this team that you love because it matters to you.
And I've ran out of ideas to talk about the Sabres for the past 3 months.
Yeah, and you're sitting here saying that next year's a make or break, because I think for a lot of us that make or break year has already passed.
Yeah,
there are so many fans who have given up on this franchise. Which is a shame because hockey's such a great sport. And Buffalo is such a great sports town.
Yeah.
And this team has squandered it. Terry has ruined this for everyone. And Don refuses to give us anything meaningful after kind of pissing away a year that it was supposed to be our year. We were supposed to make it back.
Yeah.
Again, like I had my reservations about this year at the beginning. We talked about it. We talked about it through the year.
Yeah.
That kind of we overperformed last year. Whatever.
It happens.
The team looked worse.
A lot.
If the fight for the wild card wasn't as bad as it is this year, if it were actually really good and that's why we missed, if it were a very tough fought, we were in the 93 points range and it just didn't happen. People were making progress on the team. The defense was shoring up. If you told me Luukkonen would play as well as he did this year at the beginning of the year, I would tell you we absolutely made the playoffs.
Yeah.
What happened? Don, what happened? Give me a meaningful answer, not everyone. It happens to everyone. Because you talk like that, and more fans will say, you know what? I'm done too.
Yeah.
So I see where you're coming from with that. It's tough. I am ready for Don to go. That's the moral of the story.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, if they come back with him next offseason, what do they sell this team on? What do you sell next season on?
Jack Quinn, full year, baby. Jack Quinn, full year of Jack Quinn. Love Jack Quinn.
I mean, he's playing good, but that's tough. It's tough. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. It is not promising, really, at all. I think.
So it all goes back anyway, Sam.
I think this is exactly why it doesn't matter, because there are so many screws loose in the system that the goal song is literally the least of anybody's concern. And at least as a fan, I can appreciate the funness of fishing in the dark, gimme, whatever Jeff Skinner picks, or be humble. There are fun goal songs. I appreciate the individuality, the personality of each player. It, as someone with literally nothing to root for, I find it fun. Okay, I don't think it's helping, but I don't think it's hurting anything. Allow me to have fun. Okay, Timmy.
That's why we call it a hot take, Sam, and I'm glad it generated a debate between us.
I know it's a hot take because it made me really angry because of how dumb it was. It's a terrible take. I'm not gonna let this one go for a while. That's
the best part. Was I'm not 100% serious about it either.
Yeah, I know. I could tell after a second. I'm like, this is bait. This is bait. I'm falling for it too.
That's what happens when I go on Mike and Jake's show for the Buffalo Bills too. They're too nice sometimes, and I just gotta say something to get them mad at me. So I'm glad I got you going, Sam.
Yeah. Again, I just think there's too much under the surface for me to care about the goal songs, and the goal songs are fun. End of story for me. That's it. That's where I'm at.
That killed a solid 15 minutes there.
Hey, we got our content. We got our clips,
That's right. Mike posted as shorts.
What do you mean shorts? There's a 15 minutes. Exactly. That's longer than a short.
Well, whatever. Goes views on that one.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It needs a little bit of editing, but Mike, put that on short.
Beeps and boops all over the place. I can't remember what I said, but I'm glad.
There's a fair bit of swearing. It's fine. Nah, this is not one of the PG shows. Sorry, guys.
How do we come back from that one? I can't stop laughing. All right.
So we had our weekly discussion about coaching. We went over the games. How about the 3 remaining games for the Buffalo Sabres before they set sail into the offseason? And then we can have more serious conversations about, coaching, roster, all of that, all that good stuff that we get to save for the offseason, because by God, there's going to be nothing to talk about.
Yep.
So the next upcoming games we have, if this would load, we have the Capitals tomorrow, 7 p.m. spoiler, we could play it. At this point, that's the only thing we can do with this season.
Yeah.
We have the Capitals at 7, the Capitals tomorrow, the Panthers on Saturday, and then the Lightning on Monday. And I don't think our games will be really impacting their standing too much. And even if they fall out, like maybe the Panthers don't win the division, so they could be playing for seeding. But
for shame.
Sabres versus Capitals is probably the only one that has actual implications for the playoffs at this point. Is there anything that you'd look to see in these 3 games?
Put Comrie in, tank the games, get a better draft pick spot. That's all I want at this point.
Let's see. How much if we lose all of the games, what is our positioning in the league? That's the question.
That's an important question right now.
Like, I think we can go pretty far from in the playoff race to like pretty good pick. And I think that would be 6. Hold on, we're doing some calculations.
That's no problem. Anyways, I know
we would be in the lottery if we lose our remaining games.
All right, do it. Put Comrie in. Comrie has to kind of get a contract next year, so put him in. I mean, UPL,
Comrie's not getting a contract this next year. What?
Not from us, but from
not from us.
Yeah, like an AHL contract. No, I don't want him back on the team. Nice guy, but no, I don't want him back on the team. No, he's got to get a contract and then let him become Swiss cheese.
Right.
And I mean, we had this conversation before. Either win out, get a playoff spot, or lose out and get a better draft spot. Now, don't be middling. I mean, not that the draft pick really makes a difference for this team either, unless they trade it. But
the value of the draft pick going up could help ultimately.
Yeah. The player that you get, I mean, how much if it's like if it's that 6'7" defenseman, I don't know what his name is. That's a Swedish guy. Maybe you go for him because I think he's probably around whatever we would pick projected wise.
Yeah, the guy putting up all the points.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we need, another offensive production defenseman.
Oh, yeah. Our draft show is going to go crazy. And we just laugh about the fact that we don't need any more prospects and they're not going to trade anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, just get a better draft pick so maybe we can trade it for somebody. I don't know. That's all I want. So, yes, Sabres, take a load off. It's been a long one. Lose the rest of the games out. Get a better draft pick. That's what I want to see. I don't want them seeing fighting for Donnie at the end. It's been tired out. There's no point. You didn't carry last year's run into this year, so you're not going to carry this year's run into last year. So let's put this one to bed right now. Sam, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, on the topic of AHL contracts and Eric Comrie, just want to give a shout out to Devin Cooley, who we traded to the Sharks. He got his first NHL win recently. So good for him. He did it in front of his home crowd. Awesome accomplishment for the guy. He's someone whose career trajectory I'm not sure ever looked like it was going to be NHL. So it's awesome.
Yeah.
But as far as the rest of the games go, I'm right there with you. Just honestly, run Comrie, give Ukko-Pekka the break. Let him take some naps because he is looking worse for the wear by the end of this run.
Yeah.
The quality of the goaltending has certainly degraded. He's still giving us our best chance at winning, I think. But he looks worn out, and he deserves to look worn out because he was standing on his head and that team defense was doing nothing for him. So it gives credence to your belief in having a 1A, 1B goalie next year, him and Levi. So there's more proof in the pudding there, people. I think that's the system going forward. I think, was it Marty Brodeur that we were talking about who was making fun of that system
Yeah. It was him.
I think like I get it. You're crazy. You played till you're 46 or whatever.
It was just a different NHL back then too.
Yeah, that too. Like there's just different expectations and different understanding. I think maybe
level of player.
Yeah, maybe you don't even realize like you would have played better during your career if you were sitting more games. Like the science supports that. But maybe not for him. He is a legend. So
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm sure he would have done well in this day and age NHL too, but when you think about just the different types of players that he had to face too, like there's more skill in the NHL now than there was back then. So, I mean, you can't take like, oh, you see like the fourth line come out. It's like, okay, I can take this one off. Yeah. Whereas like nowadays you can't really take anything off against any of the lines in the NHL. So you have to be always on. So anyways, 1A, 1B. I'm all on for it next year. Swayman, Allmark. Then we got Levi Ukko-Pekka-Luukkonen.
But that about does it for the upcoming games. You have 3 stars from this week or no?
No. Shout out Tage Thompson coming on hot towards the end of the season. I think he's had a point per game pace since.
He has been fantastic.
Yeah.
During this last stretch.
So, shout out to him. Not your post game comments, but shout out to him. Either way, as an individual player on the ice. Rasmus Dahlin too. I'm going to give out 2 stars. And Rasmus Dahlin, still playing solid. He carries his other defensive partner as we show him because you started off the trend last week talking about Bowen Byram, concerns about him. Now it's kind of surfacing in Buffalo newspaper articles.
Oh yeah,
Sabres noise.
Did you spend some time watching the games and paying attention to Bowen? Yes. How'd you feel about the assessment?
Spot on from what you said. I mean, it's just another guy, like another Owen Power that we have going on. And I mean, my thought is too, it's just like, how many of these guys can the Sabres develop all at once is my next question. So you got to get a lot of guys out of this funk. So it's concerning. I mean, it's concerning. I don't know. It's these offensive defensemen. It's great to have, but also it's going to come back and bite you in the ass too. And
yeah.
Hopefully they can do something about this during the offseason the next season. But yeah, I saw everything that you said where he kind of just doesn't really play. I mean, the one argument for him too that people are saying is that he's coming from a man-to-man system and now plays a zone system, and that takes a while to get adjusted to because that's the same thing that Clifton came from. But still, I mean, you got to show some semblance of defense, and he's just not showing it right now at all. He's just looking more for the offense and making the plays than he is actually focusing on his own zone playing defense. So, yeah.
Well,
good luck, Sam, on that one.
Yeah. It's been kind of painful watching him after that first little stretch of games with the goals and the excitement around him. Died out quickly once you realize, like, hey, man, this is also a reclamation project. Like, he showed you the ceiling. He shows you what's there right off the bat. And so everyone's hyped. Everyone's like, this is great. Very exciting. He won that cup already. He was an instrumental part of that cup run.
Mm-hmm.
But he leaves a lot to be desired on the ice. There is a lot of his game that he needs to shore up before you can really rely on him to be that player that we saw at the start. And again, like you said, there's a lot of those projects going on right now where it's like, yes, we see what you could be, and that would be great if you hit that. You're not there yet. So that's just one of the things that we have to see for next year, I guess. One of the things that hopefully that pans out in a kind of better way than it has for kind of down the stretch this year.
Is there like a defensive coach guru that these guys can go to during the off season? Like
I don't know who is Dahlin training with during the off season, because that might be.
Yeah. That'd be something. I don't know who he trains with because I know Gary Roberts is like the NHL offensive guy because I know Sidney Crosby trained with him, Nate McKinnon trained with him for a little bit at the beginning of their careers. Now they really don't need him anymore. So, I wonder who the defensive guy is for that because Sabres should be like, hey, go to these guys. You don't have a choice. Go train with them.
Spend your off season, get it right, and then come back when you're good. But yeah, that's a tough one, and we're gonna need to see about that. Also, maybe going to the Worlds will help them.
Yeah, I don't want to see a single Sabre say no to it.
Yeah,
because I think we had a couple guys last year. I'm sure they got to get invited. Like, I'm sure Tage has to get invited for Team USA.
Probably.
I mean, Dolly. I don't think Dolly needs to go, but it'd be cool if he went. I'm sure JJ Peterka is going to get invited.
Jack Quinn might not go just with the injury stuff. It would be a real shame if he goes out, gets injured, and can't start next year.
Don't want him doing that.
He has dealt with a lot already, so that's the one person where I'd be like, you know what? Maybe spend your off season just as an off season.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
You might need to just get right and then get back. But that's the only player that I think has an excuse. Otherwise, get out there, get more touches, play against kind of teams where you can dominate against them. And bring that confidence into next year.
Yeah, and then if you get the likes of like Sidney Crosby going out to those two and playing alongside him, if you're on Team Canada, or I'm trying to think of someone who would be on Team USA, but Patty Kane's not going to be going to that.
He might be.
Yeah,
they're still in that race.
Yeah, so I mean, get around some guys that've been around the league because that's what these guys need to see. In those Worlds. So you have any stars of the games?
Yeah, so my 3 stars. It's more, again, the season. I guess technically this would be for next week, but I'm kind of the season has ended, right?
Yeah,
you missed the playoffs. So my 3 stars are the 3 that never gave up on the playoffs. With my 3rd star being Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. He was an absolute trooper throughout kind of the second half of the year. Took the majority of the starts, posted great numbers, gave the Sabres a fighting chance. Then I'd have to give a star to Rasmus Dahlin. Never took a game off. That is a man who was playing like 30 minutes a night, was not getting much defensive help because Owen Power, God bless his soul, is not there yet. Bowen Byram, still inconsistent. Took Clifton half a year to figure out his game. Eric Johnson was there. Ryan Johnson is still a rookie. It must be tough having been Rasmus Dahlin for this year because his support defensively was not great. So
the guy giving him a star had a down year too and got injured, Samuelson. So
and then my final star is just for the fans that held out hope until there was no longer hope to be had. Shout out to you guys showing up for every game, continuing to care, and just, providing the support that this Sabres team so desperately needs, even though they haven't earned it from you. So shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
You're real for that. We appreciate it. Yeah. It's been a season that I've spent with you guys.
I like the energy that we came out at the beginning of the season with these shows, and then just drastically towards the end, it was a 180.
Yeah, I mean,
tough.
That's what this team does to you. That is what this team does to you.
Yeah.
But before we go, we got Jabba the Hutt, who I don't think we've seen you here before. So thank you for popping in. Thanks for leaving a comment. New coaching staff, and we are in. No way this team with this many high-end picks plays this dog shit. Bring in Bruce Boudreau. I am not sure where Bruce Boudreau is right now, whether or not he's looking to coach and whether or not he's looking to coach in Buffalo. But that is one of the coaches that I believe I named to you in one of the previous shows that I would take. I would take Bruce Boudreau, and I'd be pretty happy with him. I do think that he gives us a better chance than Don. And I agree with the point that we have a lot of high-end skill on this team. We are too skilled to be denied another year. So make it happen.
Wow. I have nothing to say against that. I just always think of the fact, I mean, was it Jeremy Roenick or was it someone on Spit and Chicklets talking about Bruce Boudreau? And Bruce Boudreau, when they was coaching for the team, had this affinity for Wayne Gretzky. And then the team just constantly pranked Bruce Boudreau every time, saying like, "Oh yeah, Wayne Gretzky's over there. He wants to come over and talk to him." And you go over and talk to him, and the team bus will leave without him. So I just always have that thought in the back of my head. I'm like, is this guy a little bit of a knucklehead, or is he like a serious coach? After I hear that story, so that's the only like thing that holds me back on Bruce Boudreau is the stories I've heard about him being
that's a little
pulled around a lot. Yeah.
Although you know what, it sounds like with the Wayne Gretzky thing, he's at least a real fan of the game. Yeah. He obviously cares a lot if he's that excited about Wayne Gretzky. So that's something. You know, I appreciate that passion.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm still laughing about that story.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need change, whether it's with a goofball like Bruce or anyone else. I just need the change. So yeah. Anyway, that about does it for us. Thank you for everyone who showed up. Make sure to comment if there's anything you want us to talk about next week. We do check the YouTube comments. I check them at least. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Turn on the notification bell if you want to be reminded of when we're live. I believe we should be live on Tuesday next week. We were on Wednesday today because I think they were promoting a show for a golf show.
Yeah. Yep. The Masters.
And if you're looking for something to do immediately after this, I do believe that they are live with a Bills show right now. So you can pop on over to that stream if you're not already there. And thanks for watching. We will see you.
Leave a comment about what your thoughts about the goal songs are. Do you want individual goal song? Or do you want a team goal song?
Weigh in on the comments. Doesn't matter. Do you like the individual ones? Did you like the solo ones or the single one? Let us know so that we can settle this debate, if you can even call it that.
Love it, Java. Love it, Java. Team goal songs. I love that. Sam, you might lose this battle.
I feel like I'm going to lose, and I'm going to be really disappointed about that. Anyway, thank you all so much. Have a lovely week. We will see you after the season.
See you next week.